All right, let me guess. You want to join in for Sober October. Am I right? Maybe you're just sober curious and you're still not really sure if you want to get sober because maybe you think, well, I don't know if I could do it for the rest of my life, but I'm here to tell you, you don't have to do it forever. It doesn't even have to be a permanent lifestyle change. It just has to be at least a temporary one. I actually started my own Sober October journey a few years back when I listened to Joe Rogan talk about and do the Sober October challenge with fellow comedians. Then I didn't stick to the plan, and then I found myself getting sober, again. And the reason why I tell you this is because even though I had good intentions for getting sober and being sober and staying sober for that whole month, it doesn't matter if you fail, it's how you respond to whatever that failure might be. It doesn't matter if you make a mistake as long as you learn a lesson from it. And even though 3 years ago, when I tried my first Sober October and failed, I had the positive mental attitude that I was going to succeed at being sober. And the first rule that everybody should follow, in my opinion, is to practice positivity, to be patient with yourself and know that you are imperfect and you're gonna have detours along your journey. Some people say that relapse is part of your sobriety journey. And whatever you happen to believe, it's true for you. And here at Getting Sober, again, we practice no judgment sobriety. We want to make sure that you're able to meet your own goals and meet your own expectations that you have for yourself. Sometimes we tend to be a little too hard on ourselves, and that doesn't really create the necessary space that we need of nurture in this very chaotic world. The world's already hard enough on us as is, having to keep up with the bills and the news and what's happening on social media, that at the end of any day, all you're going to want to do is what? Drink. And for a lot of us, drinking alcohol just became the go-to coping mechanism. Regardless if we were having a good day or a bad day, the way that we treated it chemically was exactly the same: alcohol. And don't you think that creates a somewhat confusing environment for us mentally? I know that a lot of us suffer from mental health issues, but maybe is it self-inflicted? So today we're going to talk about a few tips for Sober October, teach you a little bit about what Sober October is and how it started, and try to give you some tools that you might need for this next month to keep yourself sober. All right, let's get started. So first and foremost, I always want to remind everybody that you never know who you are going to inspire along your own sobriety journey. There are people that are coasting through social media right now looking for some sort of hope and some sort of motivation and inspiration to become a better version of themselves. Everybody is painfully obvious that we have some sort of self-improvement work to do. So with that in mind, I want to remind you that practice makes progress. Don't be a perfectionist. That is definitely not good for your mental health. Be kind to yourself. Teach yourself and treat yourself like you would somebody that you care about. How would you treat your friends, your family, your kids? How to do something and to be something better with kindness. So please be kind to yourself too. Sober October started in 2014 by the Macmillan Cancer Support Group as a fundraising effort to support those living with cancer. And living more alcohol-free lifestyles has definitely been popularized over the years, and you see it now at your local bar with all of the alcohol-free options that they have. I also want to invite you to take this opportunity in your journey in Sober October to work on your mental toughness. And what I mean by that is, think about not getting to drink alcohol for the next 31 days. How does that make you feel? Think about it. Does it create a little bit of anxiety? Then I think that you've identified the fact that it, in fact, is a problem. Anytime that we find ourselves out of balance with alcohol, drugs, gambling, shopping, whatever it is, we have to do more than we're willing to try to get the results that we're looking for. And if the thought of staying sober for 31 days is a little too daunting, remind yourself, it's one day at a time. All you have to do is be sober right now. All right, let's move on to the tips. I have 10 of them just for you for a healthy Sober October. And tip number 1 is get rid of all the booze in your house. I know it seems like a no-brainer, and maybe you're thinking to yourself, well, I paid good money for that bottle of scotch or that bottle of whiskey or that bottle of bourbon, whatever it is. I get it. So for those of you that are thinking right now, well, I have a few days before Sober October begins, maybe I could drink all of it before I start my journey. Let me ask you something. If you're gonna go on a cross-country road trip, or if you were gonna climb a mountain, or go on any other long, excruciating journey, would the best move be to drink a bunch of alcohol the night before? I don't think so. I'm willing to bet that exactly 0% of us have enough discipline to go 31 days of no drinking while there's alcohol in your fridge, in your freezer, in your pantry, probably in your garage, probably under your seat. Get rid of the alcohol. Again, it doesn't have to be a permanent lifestyle change. It's all temporary, and I'm sure there's some friends that wouldn't mind getting a little alcohol donation from you. Okay, tip number 2 is visit your doctor. The reason why I bring this up is, wouldn't you like to see the health benefits, the before and after of what freeing yourself of alcohol might do? As the year goes on, alcohol sales go up and up. It's starting to get colder and we're starting to become a little bit less active outdoors. Take a before picture of yourself and compare it to what you look like afterwards. Though, if you're not gonna also cut out junk food and cupcakes and sweets, you're probably not gonna look any better. But see if you can get some lab work done. Have them at least check your blood pressure. And if maybe you can't get in to see your doctor, you can easily go down to a CVS or a Walgreens or your local drugstore and stick your arm in that blood pressure machine and at least see what it is before you start your sobriety journey. Then, after the 31 days are up, compare your new results to your past results, and then you'll have some clear, tangible evidence that alcohol, it's no good for you. And then, of course, after the 31 days are up, you're probably gonna be more inclined to do what? Maybe keep going. All right, tip number 3 for a successful Sober October is prepare. Every journey needs some preparation. If you were to just take the alcohol part out of your life, but you're still gonna watch football every Sunday, you're still gonna hang out with your drinking buddies, your fishing buddies, all of the people that are enemies to your sobriety, you're probably gonna have success for maybe, 6 hours. Don't do that to yourself. I know personally, I have a wedding to go to on October 1st. Though I have a little bit of a head start over those of you that are just now joining for Sober October, I still have the temptations. I still have to be in this very social environment where everybody's gonna choose to drink. But I don't feel like I'm missing out. I don't feel like I need to be in that state of mind to have a good time. I know I'm not gonna have a good time. But make sure that you're planning ahead and make sure that you're preparing if you have a wedding or if you have a game day or a social gathering, whatever it is, so you know what you're gonna say to who, if and when they ask, what you're drinking as a substitute, and know that I don't drink this month. Out of sight, out of mind, moving forward. Okay, tip number 4 for a successful Sober October is see if anybody else is doing it. Outside of having your New Year's resolution list, Sober October is the biggest time of the year where people are choosing no alcohol. Reach out to people on social media, talk to your friends, your family, your coworker, and just say, hey, I'm doing Sober October, not I'm thinking about maybe doing Sober October if maybe somebody else was willing to do it, maybe, I don't know, with me, sort of, kinda. Make sure that you are firm in your actions and in your words. Set those intentions. Say, I am doing Sober October. And let it be as simple as that. Again, you never know who you might inspire with your sobriety journey. Okay, tip number 5 for a successful Sober October is space cleansing. And I don't mean outer space. I mean the space that you dwell in, that you live in. Look around. Is your space full of blackout curtains? Is it dark? Is it dingy? Does it feel more like a hangover or hangout than a healthy place to dwell? Shake things up, dust things off. We always say that neurons that fire together wire together. Give sobriety a buddy, preferably a healthy one. Get ahead on cleaning up the garage, the basement, the attic, whatever you gotta do. Give yourself something else to do. You know you're behind on a bunch of things, so let's clean things up a little bit. And tip number 6 for a successful Sober October is be more active. It's a fact that exercise prolongs your life. We know that October starts on a Saturday, so this is going to be an opportunity for us to practice our discipline, and maybe for some of us, heading into our first Monday, not hungover in a long time. And know that so many people are out there also doing this. You don't have to worry about struggling in silence. Know that there are going to be millions of other people that are also abstaining from drugs and alcohol. Did you know that women that regularly take at least 4,400 steps a day have a longer life expectancy than those who took less? So use Sober October to step up your game. See what I did there? Okay, tip number 7 for a successful Sober October is, repeat after me, I am not drinking this month. I know I said it before, but it bears repeating because you're gonna have to repeat this to yourself every day probably. I'm not drinking this month. For those of you that have never done sobriety at all, the first 3 days are arguably the hardest. Hard doesn't mean impossible. We've all had to go through the first 24 hours sober, the first 48 hours sober, the first 72, the first week, the first month, so on and so forth. Everything that you're feeling and everything that you're dealing with is not exclusive to you. You are in good company because here in this community, we're all surrounded by others who know exactly what the struggle is like. And if you don't believe me, just leave a comment down below and find out just how supportive this particular community is. And let me clarify, the mantra is, I'm not drinking this month. Don't let that be confused with, I can't drink this month. When you start saying things like, I can't drink this month, it sounds like you're being forced against your will. If it's your mission to succeed, then own it. And you can easily own this every day, every time that you have a craving by reminding yourself, I'm not drinking this month. We are choosing this together. It's just 1 month. And if you decide that you want to go back to alcohol, if you want to go back to the hangovers, if you want to go back to the high blood pressure and DUIs and everything that goes along with it, the bar's not going to be closed, the liquor store is still going to be open, all of your drinking buddies are still going to be drinking, don't worry. But after 30 days away from your toxic ex-alcohol, I'm willing to bet that you're probably not going to want to go back to that toxic relationship. Okay, tip number 8 for a successful Sober October is keep track of your money saved. Use the opportunity right now to pause the video and comment below how much money a day on average were you spending on alcohol, but also to alcohol-related expenses. That means things that you wouldn't be subjected to otherwise had you not been drinking, like the late night junk food, getting your car towed, having to get an Uber, Lyft, a taxi, going to clubs that you had no business going to. All of the things that you did that happen to be in the company of alcohol are also alcohol-related expenses. I'd put my daily expenses at about $20 a day. If you do the quick math, 30 days times $20 equals $600. What would you like to spend $600 on at the end of the month? Maybe a credit card bill, maybe treat yourself to some Amazon shopping, maybe paying for those doctor's visits, maybe some online therapy. Who knows? Okay, tip number 9 for having a successful Sober October is to identify some of your toxic traits. I want you to use this month as an opportunity to allow yourself to process at least a few emotions. And I know you're a big, strong adult and you weren't raised to show any emotions or any feelings. Am I right? Well, congratulations, you have just identified a toxic trait. Alcohol costs just as much, if not more, than therapy. The difference is using both, only one of them do you actually get better in the end. And maybe after you're done with, say, therapy, you might not need either ever again. In our live stream and our live chats, over 90% of you that come and hang out tell us that you're not in therapy, but then wonder why you still continue to have the same issues that you've always had. And those issues are going to continue to eat away at you from the inside until your mental health looks like Swiss cheese. So if you're interested in online therapy that you can do from the comfort of your own home, click the first link in the video description down below and you'll get 20% off your entire first month. No risk, cancel or upgrade at any time. We even do it here at Getting Sober ... again. And tip number 10 for having a successful Sober October is know what the enemies to your sobriety are. We put out a huge episode to help you reshape and retrain your mind so that you can identify the who, the what, the when, the where, and also the why of the reasons that you drink alcohol. We have to identify who the people are they're gonna make you wanna drink. Maybe they wanna make you drink because they're your friends and they wanna have a good time. Or maybe it's people that really stress you out, and if you don't have this drink, something worse is probably gonna happen. Maybe it's your job. Maybe it's the community that you live in. Maybe it's your family. Maybe it's Sunday game day. Maybe it's Monday night football. Whatever it is, I'm sure there are a ton of reasons and triggers that are gonna make you have cravings for alcohol, but it is up to you to identify what those enemies are. I also put the link for that video in the video description down below so you can copy that and watch it later. And also too, I wanna remind you of the huge episode that we put out last week, which are the 22 tips for early sobriety. A lot of you have no idea what to expect, and of course, results may vary. We don't want you to feel alone and or feel anxious about this sobriety journey, which naturally, anything that you're unfamiliar with, you're probably gonna feel a little bit hesitant about. And that's all for now. If you have any questions, please don't forget to leave a comment in the comment section down below. And I want to wish you good luck in Sober October. And if you need a little bit of company in staying sober, then this coming Sunday, October 2nd at 7 p.m. Eastern, write it down. I'll say it again slowly. Sunday, October 2nd, 7 p.m. Eastern, we'll be doing our live stream and live chat just for you, to give you a safe place and a safe space to come and chat and hang out with other people who are sober and sober curious alike, to help you feel like you're not alone during this long 31-day month. So that's all for now. I want to wish you good luck on your sobriety journey, and we will see you in the next video. Don't forget to watch the 22 tips for early sobriety. It's on the screen right now.